one too. And the swirl work. We have tracked down the owner of this beautiful Pinto right here. And you built this car, right?
Yes, me and all my friends.
Wow.
Yeah, I did the painting on it, and I helped with everything else, but all my other friends, they all got their own special thing they do.
Right.
Built it in the garage at their house.
That makes it fun, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It makes it fun.
That's great. Because, you know, you got people that know how to do this stuff, so you can spend more money on parts.
Right.
You don't have to spend money on labor.
Right.
Yes.
And it means a little bit more when it's done that way.
Oh, yeah.
It does. And I have seen this car several times, and it's just dropped dead gorgeous. The paint is amazing on this thing.
Thank you.
And he drives this car too. I have personally seen him driving this car in here a lot.
Yeah, we drive it everywhere. We take like, you know, not real long way away. You know, I drove it, you know, 80 some miles on a road trip.
Wow.
It drives just fine.
That's even better. Now what year and all that is it?
It's a 72 Pinto station wagon. First year they came out with the station wagon. I bought the car off Marketplace for $1,000.
Wow.
It was a driving car with minimal rust on it, and I didn't know what I was going to do with it. But you know, you don't not buy a car for $1,000.
Exactly.
It drove, and when we pulled the whole car apart, I never broke one bolt in the whole thing. That's how nice it was when I bought it.
Man, you've done a spectacular job. What are you running under the hood?
302 Ford motor.
Nice,
With a 522 lift cam.
I'm glad to see you stay with the Ford motor.
Well, here's what happened, because I didn't care what we were going to put in it. It was actually sitting right over there, and we was all eating one day. And you know, all my buddies, I said, I got this car, but I don't really know what I'm going to do with it. And a little Opel drove by, a gasser Opel, and I said, well, it'd be great to make a gasser out of that car.
Right.
Because you know, when I build models when you were a kid, we all did that.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
you can't afford to have a real car, so you built a model of it. And they said, well, why don't you do it? And I said, I don't have the technology. I don't know how to do the gasser part, but I can paint it.
Right.
I said, I will do it. So by the time we got done eating lunch, I got the motor from one of the guys. I painted his car. The other guy does interiors. Painted his car. He did the interior.
Wow.
And Kenny, he did most of the hard labor underneath that. We built the frame in his house garage. Yeah, set it all up.
That's
That's
awesome.
kind of how it was born. It was born right here at the Redneck Run.
You want to start it up?
Yeah,
Here
I'll
it
fire it
runs?
up.
Even better.
Yeah. The interior's all flake also.
We're just looking at that interior, which is great.
I know. Here's one of the coolest things that you have to get a look at under here. When it's building, you know, when you build a V8 Pinto, of course, like any other small vehicle you put a V8 in, there's no room for nothing. So you, as you go, you figure out what you're going to do next with whatever part you have to put on. So we got the motor and the motor mounts all built, and nowhere to put the steering or anything. So here's what we did. If you look right there, I'll turn the steering wheel. It goes through the motor mount.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's impressive right there. That is impressive.
But he said, I will do it. And I said, you sure that's going to work?
See, it's kind of details like that that really make these things stand out apart from other cars.
Exactly.
And it's also the kind of details like that that you may not catch just walking around at one time.
Yeah.
Or may have to even talk to yourself and just show us, you know, what all is up under this beautiful machine.
And I wanted it to look, when I told him we was building this car, I said, I want it to look like a cartoon. I have it in my head what I want it to look like. I said, oh yeah, I think we can do that. So we was actually in the swap meet here. These tips that are on here, they were motorcycle exhausts. And I just seen them, and I bought them. They were cheap. I thought, I'll use them on something. Well, it was at one of the guys' house on the left. I had that pipe, and I just walked by it, and then headers were sticking out. So I just kind of popped that thing up in there. I said, oh my God, that's staying in there.
And that's perfect. That's so good.
Yeah.
Man, you have really done a fantastic job. What kind of horsepower are you putting out on
I have
this?
no idea. I've never checked all that, because if I get into all that and start doing that kind of stuff, I'll tear something up. And I do a lot of stoplight Grand Prix, which is fine, but I don't never take it to the track, because if I do that, I don't like to lose. So if I lose, something bad's going to happen. And, you know, you just don't find parts for these cars everywhere.
It sounds like it's putting out a hefty amount. It sounds very healthy when it's running.
Well, and Jeff, I got the motor for him. He's the engine guy. He's a Ford engine guy. And I told him, I said, I don't know nothing about motors, but I know I like how they sound. So I want the biggest cam that you can find to put in that car where it'll run. And well, I think it worked out pretty good.
Yeah, and it sounds amazing.
And I got to say good about the Schoenfeld. They build headers. You can't buy headers for a small block Ford Pinto. You know, gas or headers.
Right.
So Kenny called. I think his name was Jason at Schoenfeld. Told him what we were doing, and on the phone gave him measurements for these headers, how they'd fit on here. They sent them in the mail, and they fit.
Wow.
Just by a phone call.
I want to talk a little bit about the front clip on this car, because you got a little rat rod stuff going on there the way the frame's punched through, and I'm really digging that. And on a gasser, you know, it can really be seen.
Yeah. Well, you know, like I said, he built that whole frame, and this has got a just the subframe. It's just like a unibody. So from here back to that block right there is the only part of a frame that this car has, and it's just a square open tube.
Right.
So he said, what we're going to do is we'll cut the center out of that square tube, build the frame with that. We slip that up in there, and then welded both sides down through it.
Nice.
So when he was doing all this, and Kenny's that kind of guy, so he don't like to just build a box.
Right.
So he's got all the punches, all the holes. So he did all the punching. You know, we put the cylinders in there, welded them up, just, you know, for
it
a
really
look.
Adds something to the car too. I mean, it really shows how far into detail you went with this thing.
So when we got the car initially to his house to start this thing, it was just a stock suspension. We put it on the lift. He marked the floor where the tires were sitting. I didn't really know why he was doing it. He marked next to the floor where the tires were stopped. So when it went up on the lift, it stayed up on the lift until the frame was in it. The front suspension was on it, kinda on it, and he set this thing straight in the rear end tube. We set it straight back down on the floor, right, and we put that right where the tires were for the stop. That way they ain't too far out or they ain't too far in. So it stayed up on the lift until all that was done.
How long did it take to complete the project?
9 months.
9 months to where it is right now.
And everybody that worked on this all have full-time jobs.
Right.
So it was all just
After hours and weekends.
Yeah, exactly.
Man,
Went 9 months start to finish.
it's impressive. I mean, that really is impressive. Now, you said you've done the paint on this.
Yep.
How long did you do the paint?
I never really kept track of the time. All I know is from start to finish, it's 17 coats of clear.
Wow.
And so I put the flake in the clear when I laid the flake on the car. So of course, I don't know if you really know a lot about the flake. It's just like asphalt.
Right.
I mean, it's rough. So when you push the paint from the gun to the car, that's all you want to do. You don't have to spray it, everywhere like a clear coat. You want to transfer the flake to the car. No matter what you use, that's all you want to do. So I mixed it with the clear. Laid it on there, laid it on there, laid it on there. And then you got to put like 4 or 5 coats on top of that, just because it's still lumpy, but you got to sand that flat, smooth.
Right.
And then, so you're a little thin on clear. So then you put a couple more coats of clear on, sand that flat. And then I mask off all the accent. When you're done with that, you put 2 or 3 more on top of that. Then when you're done with that, you put 2 more or 3 on top of that, sand it flat, and then you're done.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. It looks amazing, man. I appreciate you telling us all about it, too.
Yeah.
Starting it up,
I
taking
love
the
talking
time.
about it.
Yeah, I mean, you've got something special here, man. I appreciate it.
No problem, man.
I know a lot of people, they're going to dig this. These cars are very popular. Gassers are very popular. It's very rare you see a Pinto.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you done it because it's so different.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
Me too. Everybody seems to like it when they see it. And I had a guy one time, I was going down this little driveway to a car show one time, we were cruising one night, and I see the guy just staring at him, and I see that all the time. Well, I got parked and everything, and he came over there and said, "Man, I've got that." He said, I heard you first, now I seen the car. He said, and I didn't know what the hell that was. Tell him what the hell that is, but I like it.
And that means everything in the world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, we're going to get some good footage of this thing inside and out, man.
All right. Yeah, it's got the headliners he was sparking too. I don't know if you noticed that. All right. There's got a good frame
I'm going to give you a couple of my magnets. You can stick them on your toolbox of your refrigerator.
All right.
Man, I appreciate you doing it. Thanks for telling us about the thing. I've been seeing this car probably 3-4 years, and I've always wondered about it. This time here, I just have to wonder about my friends. I see you. I'll pass by you every till I go.
Yeah.
What
I'm
you
Dave,
have?
by the way.